The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are joined by Kyle Smith, the head men's basketball coach from new ACC member Stanford. Coach, I guess first of all, welcome to the ACC.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm not sure if it's settled in for you, but that kind of plays into it. You're new to Stanford. Stanford's new to the ACC. Bunch of new guys, meaning the transfers. That's just kind of the way college basketball is. Do you bake in a little bit of an adjustment period to the early part of this season for your squad?
Yeah, I mean, everything's new. We're lucky, in fact, that we got Jalen Blakes, who will probably start, be a leader for us. He's been around the league. He's going to shepherd us through this part. But again, like as far as it's new for me, but this transition's been the easiest one I've had so far. But maybe I've had too many, too used to it.
Jalen Blakes, you bring him up. He's someone we're familiar with in the triangle. What was it about? He didn't get a lot of minutes last year to show what he can do. What was it about him? How did you know he was the right guy to lead your program?
It's kind of a funny story, but I was actually out at Blair Academy where we went to prep school, and we're looking at some younger guys, and his coach said he was a grad transfer. I actually thought he'd just transferred 1 year, and we couldn't even do it. So, and Joe, his coach, Joe, is going back to when I was at Columbia, is a really good coach. He said, this guy's hard known. I said, absolutely. Talk to him. And just I could tell when we did a Zoom, and I could tell when we're pitching what we talk about, attitude, work ethic, and just our little system. He just kind of wanted to I think he wanted a fresh start, an opportunity to compete against in the ACC and get a little more of an opportunity. And I said, that's a good place to start for us. He's kind of gives you an identity. He's such a tough-nosed dude.
We're talking with Kyle Smith, Stanford head men's basketball coach here on The Drive. Jalen Blake started his career at Duke, played there for multiple years, transfers to Stanford, as just mentioned, looking for fresh start opportunities and so much of what the transfer portal is there for. Do you encourage the hey, let's make sure we circle this game on our calendar when he has the opportunity to play against the team that he's coming from? Because it's motivation, right?
Yeah,
Coaching's motivation.
He's very much the guy that circled the day, and that's a good thing. It's a strength of his weakness. He'll be more calmed down. Obviously, he'll want to prove himself in that, and that's natural. But I'm just keeping hey, it's a long season. We'll play 31 games, and we need you in every one. But there's no way to completely tempt down those emotions. He's going to be pretty excited to play there, so I'm already anticipating that.
When it comes to, I obviously looked up your history here. Pac-12, Ivy League, West Coast Conference, Mountain West, never the ACC in an assistant coaching role. What is your outlook on this conference, right? The cliche is the Big Ten is big physical, starts in the post. The SEC loves to run. Like how do you look at the ACC as a newcomer?
I think it's the best basketball conference.
We agree.
Yeah, I know. That's easy crowd.
Play into the
easy crowd. Well, I grew up a big Coach K fan, and I got family actually in Hickory.
Okay.
And then Derek Phelps was on my staff for 6 years. So he kind of tried to flip me to be a Carolina guy. So I've kind of straddled the fence of both those things. But obviously growing up watching ACC basketball, and it's a basketball league, I think. Is that fair to say? Not that football's not important.
I was going to say, you can go ahead and say it. I'll just make it clear
being a basketball coach. Being a basketball coach, the Tobacco Road and reading Feinstein, all the stuff that it's been this to me versus any other league. I mean, the Big East is new to the thing. Big Ten is a football league. SEC is a football league. Stop it. I don't want to hear about it. So it's just a chance to showcase our guys. I think Stanford's a global institution, and I remember 20 years ago when Stanford was number one in the country. So be able to associate with these teams this league gives us a chance to maybe raise our profile.
We appreciate bringing all those legends that they're now ACC legends, right? It's the Lopez twins and Casey Jacobson. They're all ACC legends now.
Yeah, we've absorbed them. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We just pretend all of those stats were in our conference. If you're a Coach K guy, is there something you pick from his career or his style, or whether it's X's and O's or personality or anything?
I'm not sure. I mean, that's such a lofty bar. He has
try to score like Jordan. I get it.
He has about 1,000 more wins than me. But no, I just kind of like the story, the narrative. I was just kind of where I was in high school, and I knew this. My dad got me on the Duke thing, and I remember I think it was '87 team with Dawkins and Amaker, and just how he had to grind through that, turn it, and just kind of follow the whole journey where he was making Final Fours and he wasn't good enough to win it, and then the full thing. But I love the idea of the student athlete. Now, I'm at Stanford now, where guys, they wouldn't hang their championship banners unless everyone graduated, and that kind of that element, and the high academic. And I've went to a little small liberal arts school, Hamilton College. I worked in the Ivy League, so I actually I was gonna apply to West Point, then I saw the physical requirement, and it looked too much work. But I actually interviewed at West Point too, and I was thrilled for that opportunity. Didn't get it, but I was willing to do that. So there's a little bit of that just already worked, and kind of his story kind of resonated with me.
You bring up the student athlete part. We were here, the same exact room for ACC football kickoff, and we talked to a linebacker on the Stanford team, and I asked him, like, are the stereotypes true? And what I meant was, like, are you talking, startup equity in the locker room? And he basically, I was expecting him to
confirmed
go, no.
It. I hope he confirmed it.
Yeah, I was expecting him to go like, no, we're football guys, just like everybody. No, he was like, no, we are, like, our internships are impressive, and we are talking startups, and we are talking. Is that tough as a coach to?
No, it's no different for me. My 6 years at Columbia helped me a lot because my biggest competitor, I always said, was Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. When these guys, when they weren't getting minutes, they'd be like, well, maybe I can, there's another path. I think Stanford does a great job of making well-rounded in that, but every alum I meet, it's either, are you private equity or are you venture capitalist? So, but it is, and it's kind of, when you're in Silicon Valley, it's a big part of the culture, and it's a big attraction too. But no, and that's my big challenge. Like, look, you only get to play college sports for 4 years if you're lucky, and you're going to learn more from this experience than anything else you do here. Doesn't mean those other things are important, but prioritizing that. And Troy Taylor football, he gets it too. Those guys, he'll get them right. It's just like, don't want to miss out on this. Trust me, Goldman Sachs will be there forever. It'll be there.
True.
Your rest of your older life, you'll be fine.
So as we try to gauge, like, the threat of the new guy in the ACC, every alumni you meet's in venture capital. Like, we all know NIL is the giant in recruiting and in the transfer portal and everything else. Getting money at Stanford compared to, like, Washington State, say, it's growing on trees out there. Like, the mascot tree, it's just growing on it.
There's a plan at Stanford, and I would say at Washington State, it was really going to be, it was really challenging because football is a big part of that, and there just wasn't a plan to do that. I think, like all schools, alums are a little resistant to the idea of paying their athletes, but I think Stanford's, stands for excellence, wants to be good in everything, and they're trying to wrap their head, and there's certain guys that want to get this thing going, and there is a certain level, but we'll keep growing, and I think if we do well, the big thing for us is getting retention. We've lost some guys in the past, few years, and some of that, but I think Stanford's such a nice place, such a hard place to leave. We got to make it a hard place to leave and take care of the ones that are invested in the program.
Kyle Smith, head coach, Stanford men's basketball. Before we let you go, I do want to get like a nitty-gritty basketball question.
Sure.
Had fun
shooting
the breeze with you.
Those are boring.
We saw him walking around. Max Raynaud, 7'1", 250 listed. He appears to be one of the 7'1" that are actually 7'1". There's a lot of 7'1" that are walking around 6'9". What should we expect from him this season, building off of a year last year where he was a double-double guy?
You know what? He's got to be one of the best centers in the country as far as certainly offensively, and not that he's a bad defender, but he's 7'1". He's kind of well proportioned. He's not he looks like he looks like a 6'3" guy, and you're saying, oh no, he's 7'1". And the way he plays too, because he can really, really develop this perimeter game where he makes a lot of threes. He can actually make mid-range shots. He's good in the post. I've been fortunate. I've coached 3 draft picks the last 5 years, and the last 2 drafts, like they're 9. And I think he's a little more prepared than those guys now, whether that happens or not, but he's just a really good offensive player that you can play through it all. He can be our de facto point guard. He's going to draw 2 defenders. And he's also a joy to coach. He's just a wonderful person. I'm just blessed when you get your best player that's really bought in and wants to be great. He's been awesome. And I've done it before where the best players, they usually have a little leverage, and it's hard to, you're coming in there, they're challenging you, and he has it at all. And he really loves Stanford. He could have gone elsewhere, but he wanted to finish his degree there and finish the experience. So he's kind of a role model for what we'd like to do.
Coach, thank you very much for hanging out with us, and good luck this year.
No problem. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.